The world was left reeling after the tragic accident involving Chrisean Rock, but no one anticipated the shockwave that came from Blueface's reaction. In a moment where empathy, support, or even silence seemed like the only appropriate responses, his words and actions stunned fans and insiders alike. Sources report that the atmosphere shifted instantly the second his response hit social media. Rather than offering comfort to his followers or standing beside the mother of his child, Blueface delivered a reaction so cold, erratic, and unpredictable that it sent shockwaves through the internet. Fans were left in disbelief, struggling to process what they were seeing. Celebrities weighed in with outraged comments, and online forums erupted into heated debates about whether he had finally crossed a line that could not be ignored. And the most unbelievable part? The chaos had only just begun. Blueface's response may have revealed far more than anyone expected. Some observers read guilt in his detachment. Others saw it as proof that he is emotionally disconnected. Rumors even swirl that his reaction could be linked to the growing conspiracy theories surrounding the accident itself. So, what exactly did he say? Why are fans calling it the coldest response of the year? And how did it turn an already devastating event into a full-blown cultural firestorm? The accident that left Chrisean Rock hospitalized was not just another headline, it was a moment that froze the entire entertainment world in shock. Overnight, what began as a tragic car crash spiraled into a full-blown cultural firestorm when Blueface's reaction hit social media. Instead of sympathy or concern for the mother of his child, his words carried a coldness that fans could not ignore. Suddenly, the narrative shifted. This was no longer just about a terrible accident. It became a story about betrayal, about toxicity, and about the kind of silence that speaks volumes when compassion is expected. To truly understand why his response hit so hard, you have to look back at the history between him and Chrisean, a relationship built not on peace, but on chaos. From the start, their love story looked nothing like the fairy tales people grow up hearing about. It was messy, unpredictable, and at times, outright explosive. They were the couple who turned every argument into viral drama, the pair whose breakups and makeups played out like episodes of a reality show no one could turn away from. One moment, they were declaring love on Instagram. The next, they were tearing each other down in front of millions. It was intoxicating for fans to watch, but terrifying in what it revealed about the reality behind the scenes. Chrisean, for all her flaws, wore her love for Blueface on her sleeve, or rather, on her skin. When she got his face tattooed on her, the internet lit up. Some called it devotion, others called it madness, but everyone agreed on one thing: this was not going to be a conventional romance. That act alone symbolized just how deep she had fallen for him, how much of herself she had poured into a relationship that often seemed to give her so little in return. So, when the accident happened, a life-threatening crash that could have ended everything, fans expected Blueface to show up in some way. A message of concern. A post of support. A simple acknowledgement that the woman fighting for her life mattered to him beyond the chaos. But instead, his response was cold, detached, almost smug. It felt like a punch in the gut not just to Chrisean's supporters, but to anyone who believed there was still some real love beneath all the dysfunction. That silence, followed by cryptic and dismissive comments, became the turning point. What should have been a moment to protect and uplift the mother of his child turned into a public relations disaster that made people question everything about him, their relationship, his character, and even his role in the events leading up to the crash. Suddenly, this was no longer just about a toxic love story. It was about accountability, compassion, and the unsettling possibility that maybe, just maybe, there was more to the story than anyone realized. What began as a reality show romance evolved into years of screaming matches, live-streamed arguments, and headlines blurring the line between personal heartbreak and public spectacle. Blueface mocked her missing tooth, she smashed doors in anger, and they fought on camera, cried on stage, and through it all, fans were captivated, torn between hoping their love could survive and pleading for Chrisean to walk away. Despite all the chaos, one constant remained: Chrisean always defended Blueface. She stayed, even through the worst moments. Which is why, when the accident happened, Fans expected him to finally reciprocate that loyalty. This was no ordinary fight or scandal. Chrisean had been pulled from a mangled car by EMTs, fans were crying on live streams, and hashtags like #PrayForEyes trended worldwide. This was a moment for Blueface to show that beneath the toxicity, beneath the fights, he still cared. Fans wanted him at the hospital. They wanted a heartfelt message, a recognition of the mother of his child in her darkest hour. But that is not what they got. Instead, his reaction was icy. Sources say he made no hospital visit, offered no immediate words of concern. When he finally spoke, it wasn't the reassurance anyone expected. A cryptic Instagram story appeared, reading, "Don't play the victim when you live reckless." Just 10 words, yet they detonated across the internet. Fans were horrified Chrisean was fighting for her life, and this was the response? The backlash was immediate. Comment sections flooded with fury. "You don't deserve her. You never did. This proves everything. You never loved her." Twitter threads shredded him. TikTok creators recorded tearful breakdowns. YouTubers uploaded videos dissecting every word, calling it the coldest reaction imaginable. And yet, Blueface doubled down with silence. For fans, it cut deeper than any post. This wasn't just about careless words, it was about years of history. Chrisean had given more love, more loyalty, and more patience than she ever received in return. In the one moment she needed him most, he turned away. It wasn't merely Blueface being Blueface, it was the painful confirmation of what fans had feared all along. Chrisean had always carried more weight in this relationship than he ever did. Even celebrities could not remain silent. Cardi B weighed in, tweeting a message of support without naming names, joining the chorus of public outrage. The world watched, stunned, as the man who had been a partner in name only left the woman fighting for her life to face the world alone. Meek Mill summed it up best when he said, "If you cannot stand by your woman at her lowest, you never loved her," a post clearly aimed at Blueface, whose silence after Chrisean Rock's devastating accident quickly spiraled into something darker than simple heartlessness. Fans began to wonder why he showed no outrage if foul play was suspected, why his only response was the now infamous line, "Don't play the victim when you live reckless," a statement that detonated the internet as grief turned to fury. Hashtags like #BluefaceGoldhearted and #JusticeForChrissie flooded every platform. TikTok stitched footage of her being pulled from the wrecked car with his cold words. Twitter laid out the accident timeline. Crash at 1:45 a.m. Blueface silent for nearly a day. Then one cutting post instead of prayers, and YouTubers dropped breakdowns accusing him of cruelty. While even longtime supporters abandoned him as gossip blogs poured gasoline on the fire with alleged leaked messages sent hours before the crash, igniting conspiracy theories that hinted his calmness might be hiding something far more sinister than anyone imagined. Alleged shots soon surfaced, showing a supposed exchange between Blueface and an associate. "You sure about this?" "She ain't listening, but this could get ugly," the associate wrote. Blueface allegedly replied, "Sometimes you gotta let people crash out. Ain't my problem no more." Grainy, unverified, and possibly doctored, the screenshots spread like wildfire, with fans treating them as evidence that Blueface might have known something beforehand. The rumor mill exploded, claims surfaced that he was warned about Chrisean's car troubles. Whispers suggested he knew about faulty brakes, and conspiracy theorists linked him to the mysterious second car caught in bystander footage. One viral TikTok asked, "What if Blueface's silence isn't heartlessness, but guilt?" Reddit sleuths dissected old interviews and live streams, pointing out moments where Blueface mocked Chrisean for being reckless, arguing he had been painting her as unstable for weeks so he could later shrug off tragedy. As the theory gained traction, celebrities jumped in. Cardi B tweeted, "You don't play with life like that. No matter the drama, that's your family. Show some humanity." Meek Mill added, "Too many snakes in this industry. When people show you their cold heart, believe them." Even 50 Cent trolled him with a meme captioned, "Don't play the victim when you live reckless. Boy, you sound guilty," which went viral instantly. And Blueface? He doubled down. Days later, on a live stream flooded with fans demanding answers, He smirked and dismissed it all with, "Y'all worried about the wrong things. People crash every day. Why y'all making this about me?" The clip spread like wildfire, and to fans, it was no longer just cold. It was smug, dismissive, and dripping with betrayal. Blueface's reaction carried the energy of a man not grieving but hiding, and for Christian's fans, it was the breaking point. Social media erupted with emotional tributes, painting her as the victim not only of a tragic accident, but of a toxic relationship that had drained her for years. TikTok edits captioned, "She gave him everything, and he gave her nothing," gained millions of views, while Instagram fan pages turned into digital memorials filled with prayers, photos, and heartbreaking letters pleading with her family to cut ties with Blueface for good. Then came the twist that sent the story spiraling. A source claimed Blueface received a phone call shortly before the crash, a call carrying information that could have changed everything. Theories exploded overnight. Was it a warning about faulty brakes? A tip about the mysterious second car? Or something even darker, a signal that the plan was already in motion? The lack of answers only fueled suspicion. Suddenly, Blueface wasn't just a cold ex-boyfriend. He was being painted as a man who might have known danger was coming and chose silence over action. If that phone call rumor was true, then his chilling reaction wasn't just cruel, it was calculated. And with each passing day, the internet's narrative shifted from heartbreak to suspicion, convinced there was more to the story than Blueface wanted the world to know. People online claimed that Blueface's icy attitude came from guilt, and almost instantly, alleged transcripts of the mysterious phone call began flooding social media. One viral screenshot claimed the caller warned, "It's happening tonight. She won't listen. Don't get in the way," with Blueface allegedly replying, "Do what you gotta do. I'm out of it." There was zero proof the texts were real, but fans didn't care. Suddenly, everything made sense. His cold Instagram post, his smug livestream, his silence. Outrage exploded. People demanded his career be destroyed, his music boycotted, his name erased. TikTok filled with emotional clips of fans torching his merch. Twitter threads urged Spotify and Apple to pull his songs, and even fan pages that once defended him rebranded under names like Justice for Chrisean and Blueface exposed. Then the celebrity backlash hit like a hammer. Cardi B went live saying, "If you get a call your baby mama might be in danger and you do nothing, that's not a man, that's a coward." Meek Mill tweeted, "This is ugly. I don't even like speaking on people's business, but this feels different. Too dirty." Even 50 Cent, who had been trolling days earlier, posted a photo of Chrisean with the caption, "Protect this girl. The wolves are out." And through all of it, Blueface refused to clear the air. Instead, he mocked the outrage on yet another livestream, smirking as he said, "Y'all believe anything you see on the internet? Ain't nobody call me. Ain't nobody warned me. Stop acting like I'm Batman or something. I can't save everybody from everything." Blueface's cold, dismissive attitude only fueled the outrage. During his live stream, as fans bombarded him with comments like, "So you admit you wouldn't have helped? This is why everyone thinks you're guilty," he simply smirked, making the anger boil hotter. The clip went viral within hours, replayed millions of times across social media, locking in the image of a man who either did not care or was hiding something dark. Then came the next twist. A blogger claimed to have obtained audio of the supposed phone call that started it all. The full recording never surfaced, but grainy snippets hit the internet. In the crackly clip, a voice sounding like Blueface could be heard saying, "She going to do what she going to do. I'm not stopping it." It was impossible to prove real, but no one seemed to care. TikTokers flooded the platform with eerie edits, layering the audio over footage of the accident scene with captions like, "He knew." The industry split wide open. Some artists demanded Blueface be blacklisted, while insiders whispered that promoters were already cutting him from shows, calling him too toxic. His manager, Whack 100, tried to defend him, claiming people were fabricating calls and screenshots to destroy his career, but the defense fell on deaf ears. Public opinion had already chosen its villain. Meanwhile, Chrisean Rock stayed silent, still recovering, but her family spoke out. Her sister posted, "She told us she felt unsafe. She told us if something happened, it wouldn't be no accident. And look where we at now. The post blew up instantly, treated as proof that fans' worst fears might be true. Now the world waits on edge. Did Blueface actually get that call? Is there more audio coming? Because if the rumors are real, this is no longer about reckless behavior or careless words. This is about whether his reaction was not just cold, but a confession in disguise. By this point, the accident and Blueface's icy reaction had exploded far beyond gossip blogs. It had become a cultural earthquake shaking fans, celebrities, industry insiders, and even people who had never heard a single Blueface song. The verdict from nearly everyone was the same. This was beyond forgiveness. Social media turned into a war zone as TikTok lives overflowed with fans crying, shouting, and clashing in real time. Some tried weakly to defend him, but the louder voices came from celebrities unleashing fury. Cardi B, visibly shaken, went live again, this time with tears in her eyes, saying, "Y'all don't understand, when a woman is fighting for her life, the last thing she needs is cruelty from the father of her child. This is disgusting." Offset reposted her live with the caption, "Blueface moving demonic. We don't respect it." Rapper YG tweeted bluntly, "Cold hearts get exposed. Watch." Even SZA, usually silent in drama, posted a single broken heart emoji next to Christian's name, and the internet exploded. It felt like the entire industry was lining up against him. Behind the scenes, the backlash hit his pockets hard. Promoters pulled deals. One major festival leaked a message saying, "Due to recent events, Blueface slot will be reevaluated. We cannot risk the backlash." Sponsors allegedly cut ties within hours, a sneaker brand canceling his endorsement, clubs refusing to put his name on flyers, afraid of protests. For the first time, it wasn't just fans rejecting him, it was money walking away. Then the media joined in. CNN Entertainment ran with the headline, "Blueface under fire for callous response to Chrisean Rock accident." TMZ posted photos of him smiling while shopping with the caption, "Cold aftermath." Talk shows roasted him. Wendy Williams, style commentators called him a disgrace, while The Breakfast Club dissected his live stream, with Charlemagne saying, "Coldest thing I've ever seen a baby daddy say." Meanwhile, Christian supporters built her up as a symbol of survival. Hashtags like #PrayersForChrissy and #SurvivorEnergy flooded timelines, edits of her holding her baby set to sad music going viral by the millions. Fans filled her family's pages with love, promising, "We got her back even if Blueface don't." One emotional TikTok stitched her old video saying, "All I want is love," over footage of the accident scene, the comments turning into a virtual vigil. As the world rallied around Christian, Blueface stood alone. Former collaborators unfollowed him. Blogs kept lists of every celebrity cutting ties. Even longtime fans posted heartbreaking messages like, "I was a fan since Thoshiana, but this? Nah, I can't." The betrayal felt personal, like everyone had seen this train wreck coming, but never thought it would hit this hard. And then came the whispers growing louder by the hour. What if the leaked phone call was real? What if Blueface knew the accident was coming? Because if that was true, this was no longer just about cruelty, it was about complicity. Then, just when the internet thought the story couldn't get darker, a bombshell hit. A former associate, a shadowy insider, leaked a statement to multiple blogs, claiming they had first-hand knowledge of Blueface's connection to the accident. Their words were chilling. Blue knew more than he let on. That phone call? Real. And the accident? Not what it seems. The insider's words hit like a thunderclap. It wasn't random. People need to start asking the right questions. Suddenly, the internet froze. This was no longer fan theory or wild speculation. This was someone claiming first-hand knowledge, turning whispers into hard accusations. According to the insider, Blueface had been warned weeks before about dangers surrounding Christian, but brushed it off with chilling indifference, allegedly saying, "She'll crash sooner or later. I can't save her from herself." Within minutes, the quote was everywhere, plastered across blogs, blasted on live streams, and trending worldwide under hashtags like #HeKnew and #BluefaceExposed. But the real shock came next. The insider claimed to have proof, screenshots, call logs, even a voice recording, evidence they hinted would shatter everything when released. The internet erupted, demanding the files drop immediately as TikTok creators dissected every word, posting viral edits predicting that if the logs confirmed he'd been warned, it was game over, not just for his career, but possibly his freedom. Celebrities fueled the fire. Ice Spice posted a cryptic, "Protect women. Believe women." NBA star Ja Morant liked a post calling Blueface finished, while Drake quietly followed Chrisean on Instagram, a move fans saw as a silent but powerful statement. Under pressure, Blueface went live on Instagram, pacing furiously, shouting, "Y'all want me to be the villain so bad? I ain't make her crash. I ain't make that call. Stop playing with me before I really snap." But the live stream backfired spectacularly. Fans clipped his smirks, nervous laughs, and eye rolls, calling it proof of guilt. His quote, "Y'all want me to be the villain?" instantly became a meme symbolizing his unraveling. Then came the final twist. A major media outlet was allegedly preparing a full exposé with receipts, recordings, and testimony from insiders, with one journalist teasing, "We've uncovered more than anyone expected. Stay tuned." Now the world holds its breath. The cold reactions, the leaked calls, the insider's claims, all of it hurtling toward one moment. The question isn't whether the evidence will surface, it's what it will reveal. A man merely heartless, or someone complicit in the accident that nearly claimed Chrisean's life. Because if the insider's allegations are true, this won't just end Blueface's career, it could end his freedom. The world is holding its breath, waiting for the next revelation to shatter the silence. Because if the whispers are true and the evidence is real, this story is headed toward its most explosive chapter yet, a chapter that could bring canceled deals, courtroom battles, and maybe even handcuffs. So here is the question: was Blueface simply heartless, reacting with cold indifference during a tragedy, or was his strange behavior the slip of a man who knew far more than he admitted? Do you believe the insider is exposing the truth, or is this just a calculated attempt to destroy him? And if that alleged audio recording really exists, should it be released for the world to hear immediately, or saved for the courtroom where it could carry the most weight? Because let us be clear, this is bigger than Blueface and Chrisean. This is a story about loyalty, betrayal, and how the truth always claws its way to the surface. And when the next twist lands, when that so-called evidence finally drops, I will be right here to break it all down for you. Stay locked in, because what comes next could change everything.